This is Principles of Management, and this session is on strategy formulation and execution. The distinction between things that are strategic and things that are tactical is a critical one. A strategy is a plan, an approach to something. It has to be clear and understandable, flexible and durable. It is not a laundry list of small actions that need to be taken to get an operation to run more smoothly. It has nothing to do with detailed activities. There are some key characteristics of a strategic plan. One, it is something that affects the entire organization and not just one functional area within it. Two, it involves multiple stakeholders: employees, management, customers, suppliers, the community, the environment, anyone affected by the decisions made by a firm. Three, it involves both a long-term and a short-term perspective. And four, it recognizes not just trade-offs between effectiveness and efficiency, but a balance between long and short-term objectives, between and among stakeholder interests. To give this a specific definition, a strategy is a plan of action that describes resource allocation and activities for dealing with the environment, achieving a competitive advantage, and accomplishing the organization's mission. A competitive advantage is what sets one organization apart from another and makes it able to be more effective in meeting the needs of its customers. If an organization is good at what it does, it is said to have a competence. A baker may be particularly good at making specialty breads. If what is setting the organization apart from its competition has some key characteristics, that the distinguishing competence is rare, costly to imitate, costly to make a substitution for, and valuable to the market, that competence earns the distinction of becoming a core competence. The significance of this is that any firm can gain a temporary advantage over another firm, but the presence of a core competence makes a competitive advantage durable. A business level strategy refers to that strategy a firm will develop to enable it to compete within a single product or service line. While a business level strategy is likely to be firm specific, most business level strategies fall into one of several generic categories. One being the low-cost producer of a generic but good enough product. Two, a differentiation strategy, and that entails being the producer of a product with better features than one's competitors has, provided the price of the upgraded product is not out of line with the value of its added features. And three, a focus strategy, involving segmenting the market and appealing to one of its niches. Does the market have meaningful subsets? Corporate level strategies are generally those used by firms that are operating multiple businesses. In designing a corporate level strategy, individual businesses may be thought of as the firm's resources, and their particular combinations used to form complementary alliances that, for example, can increase the scope of the firm's product or service offerings, increase its market power, or simply diversify its risk. Functional strategies pertain to departments or business units within the organization. For example, is it better to have a legal department in-house, or to seek outside counsel based on specific issues, or to have some combination of the both? There are four categories of strategies that firms use to engage in the global marketplace, and they're called global, international, multi-domestic, and transnational. An international strategy would typically begin with exports. A global strategy is similar to an international strategy in that the products and services offered by the firm are altered only minimally for foreign markets. A firm may choose to locate its manufacturing close to the source of its raw materials to minimize transportation costs, or in a location where labor is less expensive. The goal of a global strategy is to decrease the cost of production. A multi-domestic strategy is one that adapts the company's products and services to the local market preferences and manufactures the products in the target location. The transnational strategy is something of a combination of the above. It takes into account manufacturing and distribution costs as well as local preferences. The goal of this strategy is to use logistical and scale economies. At the same time, profitability is maximized by adapting the product to local tastes and preferences. The success or failure of a strategic plan lies in its execution. The point of referring to this as a plan, as opposed to a blueprint, is that it has to have some flexibility. It is unlikely that an organization's competitors are staying still and waiting for someone else to take the lead. This is a dynamic process. It involves ebbs and flows, occasionally changes in direction. In order for this to work, there needs to be visible and motivating leadership, clear and candid communications about the purpose of the plan, the goals being set, and the metric used to measure their achievement, and for that, roles and responsibilities need to be clearly assigned. Finally, this will only work if you have the right people. If the plan calls for doing something that has not been done by the organization in the past, some new skills are going to be needed, which can be brought in by training or by hiring new people. And this is the subject of strategic human resources management. In the next session, we are going to consider managerial decision making. Good evening.